Right, okay, now we're in Benidorm and it's heaving. But we're at Ray's. And someone said this was Ray's, the original Ray's. But there's another Ray's, Ray's 1, further down. This was Ray's Chippy, or is Ray's Chippy. But it's also known as the Duke of Wellington, because the owners here say they've been here for a couple of years. Before that, they were in the Old Town for 10 years. But it still comes up on Google as Ray's. So anyway, let's check it out. First thing we're going to go for is the fish and chips. So let's have a little look at that. Well, there's plenty of fish going on in there. You can see that there. And it's cod. Batter looks nice and light, straight off. Okay, chips look really nice. So we've come to a place next door to Ray's, right next door. That's shut for today. Okay, it's a nice piece of fish. There's a real freshness about it. It's not a lot of flavour in the batter, but it's also got a sweetness to it. And I'm just going to pass a little bit onto my good wife there, while I put a little bit more salt and vinegar and a bit more salt. And we're going to give it another go. Okay, let's have a look at these chips. Oh, these chips in this container look a little bit worse for wear. There's some very dry ones. There's some fresh ones. It's a real mix of things. Yeah, they've still got a nice flavour. The fish tastes like it's just been caught today. The chips in this are not really the best. I like these containers, to be honest with you. I know plastics are not the way forward, but we have got the beans here. Now, for a lot of people who've had fish fingers, chips, and beans, beans are a staple with fish and chips. They're okay. It tastes like a baked bean, but the liquid with them is a little bit too wet. But they've got a nice taste. Let's go with the curry sauce. Well, it's a little gelatinous. It's quite mild. There is a little kick there, but it is quite a mild one. There's a sweetness, there's a little kick, but not enough for my liking. Okay, up to now.
Yeah, I love the fish.
It's nice, isn't it?
Loved it.
Let's go with these mushy peas. So how do they look? They taste okay. A little bland. Try it with a bit of the fish. This fish is lovely though. Look at that thickness there. There's something else going on there, and I can't work it out.
Bill bacon. I don't know that. It appears in the garden. In the bottom left right corner.
Like I say, let me know if I'm on this right track here. Couldn't get anywhere near some of the other chippies we tried yesterday, and it was heaving. The town was heaving. That's their chicken and mushroom pie. They've made it in-house, and they've actually put a bit of gravy on there. I think it's gravy, I'm not sure. That's a really tasty pie. It comes with the chips and that bit of gravy. The chips seem a little more plump in this. Lovely pastry. Plenty of chicken going on. Plenty of mushroom. It's all in there. But the other food's there too. Look at this. That looks heavy. That's a Caesar salad. So for the vegetarians, or for anyone who doesn't fancy a piece of chips,
Chicken in it.
it's got chicken in it. And look at that. If you just dig underneath a little bit there, you've got plenty of lettuce going on. You know, I might take that up my wife and eat that myself. That is delicious. That's gorgeous. Right, okay, since getting back from Spain, it's been hard. 4,000 miles basically, or roughly. And you're so out of practice for doing long distances like that. And my feet going up and down and my calves. Plus, I don't know whether many of you know, but some years ago, an articulated lorry went straight into my right shoulder, threw me down the barrier. And it took some time. I'm still suffering from it now. I've got permanent nerve damage throughout my right side. And there are times when I think I've lifted my leg up, but I actually haven't, and over I go. So stairs sometimes, or outside on the path, and it always worries me that I might fall into the road or something like that. So I've got this permanent damage, and I try to work out to try to strengthen my joints and bones and everything. So I do lift heavy weights, but usually supported. So sort of like a seated press or bench press, things like that. But, you know, you still want to be that person you were in your youth when you were flinging weights around like you did. But you can't do that. I can't do that anymore. And of course, it's not getting any better, and it won't get any better. So I've been suffering since I got back from that drive. So it has been hard work. Anyway, let's have a little look. 2-star. Really disappointed. Visited last summer and the food was fantastic. Big portions and really tasty. Not this time though. Chips were nice, but barely enough to feed a child, never mind a full-grown man. Fish was very small. Batter was a bit soggy, but not all of it. Don't think I'll be back again. 3-star. Not the most friendly. 5-star. What could be better? On a wet, rainy night in Benidorm, Old Town, in the middle of January. The fish and chips were delicious, the batter was crisp, the fish was fresh, and the chips were delicious. Well done, guys. Keep up the good work. Mine, 4-star. Spoilt for choice by the name Ray's when it comes to fish and chip shops in Benidorm. We opted for Ray's Chippy, also known as the Duke of Wellington. Set up like a small courtyard bar, restaurant and takeaway, it's situated on the edge of town near a large gravel car park, just a few hundred metres from Ray's. The shop was clean and tidy with plenty of seating. The staff were warm and friendly, though they appeared quite busy considering the small number of patrons at the time. The cod and chips were very tasty. Thick cuts of cod in a crispy batter were laid over a bed of chips in a rather large foil tray with a lid. The chips weren't the best, but they were acceptable. The mushy peas had a pleasant consistency, though they could have been firmer. The curry sauce was tasty and mild, with a subtle kick. The in-house chicken and mushroom pie was delicious, generously filled and wrapped in a sweet short crust pastry casing. The chicken Caesar salad was also tasty and plentiful. Cooking in oil, card or cash, fish reviewed, cod. Yeah, Benidorm. You know, at the beginning of the video I said, is Benidorm for me? Well, no, not for me. It's, you know, I'm at a different age now. When I was in my youth, in my 20s, 30s, maybe even 40s, I could have seen the appeal. But now, I mean, it's not a place I would want to take children. Because, I mean, on the day that we were there was a lot of people, you know, wobbling down the road and walking down the middle of the road drunk and shouting and carrying on and all kinds of crazy stuff. You know, maybe that was that part of town. I don't know. Maybe there was something else going on. Again, I don't know.
But the beach and the sea, no wonder they built that place right where it was. What a fabulous looking part of the Mediterranean that is. Beautiful beach. But they're not going to build a city like that, are they, around a dump? Anyway, see you on the next one.
The Chippy Tour, cruising the coast, can't ignore. With every bite, I'm loving it more. Saving the chippies, that's what I'm for. Yo, I hit the road, got salt in my veins. From London to Scotland, through sunshine and rain. Fish and chips in my hand, it's a noble quest. Supporting the classics, yeah, I'm doing my best. Met a bloke in Troon with a tempura squid. A castle in Wales where I had my bid. From mushy piece of battered Mars bar. A culinary Johnny, I'm a food rock star. I'm the Chippy Tour. Tasting it all. Beef fritter scraps, yeah, I answer the call. Savory scallops, deep fried dreams, keeping chips